Good morning, learners. I welcome you to the course Grammar and Usage for Undergraduates. In this module, we are going to learn prepositions. Prepositions are usually words that's placed before nouns or followed by verbs. For example, I am living in Chennai. In is a preposition. The nouns are subject to change. To is a preposition. There are quite a number of words like this: around, at, on, over, under, below. All these words fall under the category called prepositions. Preposition is also equally very much important when you form a sentence. So, proper usage of prepositions is very much required to formulate a correct sentence. Other prepositions. Questions beginning with preposition. To whom were you talking? In which cupboard did you keep the dress? This question, to whom were you talking, starts with the preposition to. In which cupboard did you keep the dress? The question starts with the preposition in. Next preposition is at, for time. Okay. You should meet him exactly at 3 p.m. today. Okay. To mention the timing, we should use the preposition at. Okay. For example, you should meet him exactly at 3 p.m. today. For day and date, on should be used. I go to library on Sundays. On 25th January, I had my exam. Okay. So, for date on 25th January, on is used. And in the other sentence, I go to library on Sundays. For the day, Sundays, on is used. Okay. In for month and year. Okay. Rakesh was born in 2005. To mention the year, before the year, in should be used. I joined duty in November 2019. In the example, I joined duty in November 2019. Before November, in is to be used. So, at should be used for time, on for day and date, in for month and year. Okay. Next, moving on to the next article, preposition. By, the preposition by. I need to submit my application form by Wednesday. Okay. By means exactly on time or before. Okay. So, I need to submit my application by Wednesday means exactly on Wednesday or before Wednesday, not later on. Okay. On or before is by. Okay. Moving on to the next usage. On time, in time. You would have come across this usage and got confused which is the appropriate one. On time or in time. Both are correct, but they have specifications. Okay. On time means exactly at the time planned. Okay. The town bus left on time. Okay. Exactly as per the schedule, as per the plan, the bus left. Okay. In time means not late. Okay. Within the given stipulated time, it happened. You should be in time to the school. Okay. So, both on time and in time are correct. On time means exactly as per the schedule, as per the plan. In time means not late. Okay. So, both the usages are correct according to the given context it should be used. Moving on to the next set of articles. From, since, for, during. Okay. Example. I was working in an MNC from 2010 to 2015. Okay. From, when we use from, it should be followed by to. Okay. I was waiting in the dining hall from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Okay. When you use from, it is followed by to. Okay. I was working in an MNC from 2010 to 2015. Okay. But when you use since, only the starting period is mentioned. It's not followed by to. Okay. For example, Raymond since 1925. Okay. In this phrase, Raymond since 1925, only the beginning time is mentioned, not the end time. Moving on to the next one. We have been living in Mumbai for the past 10 years. For should be used for a period of time, for 5 years, for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years, like that. For a period of time, for should be used. We have been living in Chennai for the past 10 years. Okay. So, for should be used when you mention a period of time. Next usage is during. During summer holidays, I learned typewriting. Okay, so during summer, during winter, during holidays, okay, I did something like that. That is also to denote a period of time. But yes, everything has its own usage. From should be followed by to. Since only the beginning time. For when you mention again a period of time like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and during particularly a season like winter, summer, a particular season. Yes, moving on to the next set of words. To, till, until, after, afterwards. Okay, afterwards means after that. Okay, example sentences. I am going to my native place now. Okay, I am going to my native place now. To, the exact destination point is given. You can wait for his response till this evening. Okay, till this particular evening, till, until can be interchangeably used. Till this evening you can wait for his response. Don't do exercise soon after heavy food intake. Okay. So, soon after heavy food intake, don't do exercise. You can meet the manager afterwards since he is busy now. Okay, the manager is busy now, so that you can meet him afterwards. After some time. Okay. Moving on to the next set of prepositions. At, in, on, into, onto, out, out of. Okay. I live in Chennai at Egmore. Okay. In Chennai, the broad area specification is used with in and the exact area with at. Okay. I live in Tamil Nadu at Chennai. Okay, the broader area with in and the specific place with at. Okay. The cat is on the wall, on the surface. Okay, the cat is on the wall. The nail was driven into the wall. Into, it's getting into. Okay, so the nail was driven into the wall. He threw the book onto the table. The book was thrown. The book was thrown onto the table. So, it reaches the table. Onto. That movement could be denoted using onto. Okay. He went out. He went out, going out. His mobile remained out of coverage area. So, it's not within the boundary. It's out of coverage area. Yes, moving on to the next set. Above, over, under, beneath and below. Okay. The helicopter flew just above or over your head. Just above means it is the kind of space and distance that you mention. Above is just above, over is over your head. Okay, that denotes the space. The helicopter flew just above or over your head. It depends upon that spatial difference. Nyan kept the pen under the bed. Okay, under, hope you can easily understand. Under the bed, under the pillow. He kept it under the bed. You can find night lamp just below the wall clock. Wall clock is there. Just below the wall clock, you can find the night lamp. Okay, moving on to the next set. Beside, besides. Besides means in addition to. Beside means by the side and between. Okay, first one, beside. Noel is cycling beside the park. By the side of park, Noel is cycling. Okay. I do knitting, embroidery, stitching besides cooking. My first work is cooking. I am cooking. In addition to cooking, I am doing knitting, embroidery and stitching. Okay. So, besides means in addition to. In addition to cooking, I am doing knitting, embroidery and stitching. Okay. Next one is between. Between 2 points. Okay. From to, already I told you, I was waiting in the dining hall 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. this morning. Okay. But if you can use between also for this context. I was waiting in the dining hall between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Okay. If you use between, it should be followed by and. Okay. If you use from, it should be followed by to. Another example for between is the chair is between the table and the blackboard. Okay. So, we need to be more careful about these prefix and suffix follow up. Yes, moving on to the next. Among, behind, in front of, opposite. Opposite facing. Okay. There is a river flow among the hills. One river is flowing, but it's crossing quite a number of hills among the hills. You can find a hut behind the trees. Just behind the trees, at the back of the trees, at the back space of the trees, you can find a hut. I found an electricity board post in front of the shop. Okay. An electricity board post is in front of the shop. It is there. One post is there. Rahul is just opposite to Reshmi. Just standing opposite, sitting opposite to Reshmi. Yes, moving on to the next set. But except with. I want to take part, but I have not prepared. I am not prepared. I want to take part, but I am not prepared. Okay. All the learners have submitted except Arul. Except the candidate Arul, the remaining people have submitted. You can chop the vegetables with the knife. Use the knife and chop the vegetables. With the knife, you can chop the vegetables. Okay. And yes, there is another category. Some of the prepositions with verbs and adjectives and participles, they are always constant. They do come along with the verbs or adjectives or participles. Okay. For example, ashamed of, according to, consist of, due to, accompanied by, rely on, scared of, fond of, attend to, avail of. Okay, so these words always come along with the preposition. These prepositions with the verbs or adjectives or participles. When you use these prepositions to form sentence also, the preposition and the verb, the preposition and the adjective, or the preposition and participle should not be parted. It should go together. Aren't you ashamed of this? Okay, ashamed of, you can't split it apart. Ashamed of should come together. I would like to avail leave tomorrow. Okay. Then moving on to the next example, due to power cut, I was not able to complete the work. Due to should not be split apart. It should come together. Okay. Yes. Moving on to the next one, omission of to and for. Okay. Omission of the words to and for. In some contexts, it can be omitted. For example, I want to go home. It is not I want to go to home, I want to go home. In what context that too can be omitted? Before indirect object, it can be omitted. I gave Glenn a pen. Okay, I gave Glenn a pen. Okay. So in this context, instead of I gave a pen to Glenn, it can be written as I gave Glenn a pen. To can be omitted. I shall get you a coffee. Okay. Instead of I shall get a coffee for you, we can say I shall get you a coffee. Okay. So these are the unique usages of prepositions. Moving on to just sample exercise. First sentence, the cat jumped dash the table. Okay. The cat jumped on the table or over the table. According to the sense and meaning of the context, it should be used. The eagle flew over. Okay, eagle always flies high, so that the eagle flew over. Next sentence, I met him dash 6 o'clock. I met him at 6 o'clock. For time it is at. Okay, she was born dash Monday. Okay, for the day, what is the suitable preposition? It is on. Yes, these prepositions are difficult for both natives and not natives. As second language users, we need to be more careful with the use of these prepositions. By spending more time with books or listening to English and writing more, we can easily overcome difficulty in learning the prepositions. Thank you so much and wish you all happy learning.